Hello, welcome back. My name is Emily and today I'm here for a vlog style video tutorial. So the truth is I already spent several hours working on a pair of boobs and honestly it didn't quite work out. So I'm here again to try to make it work. I wanted to try to recreate that and I've run into a few issues. I couldn't find the foam that she used, like this padded yellow foam. It's completely out of stock everywhere that I could check. So I've had to look at other alternatives. So before I get started, I decided I'm just gonna make one boob to see if I can get something looking quite okay.
2 hours later.
Here it is. You have one big boob and I think it's looking quite okay. Yeah. So I'm pretty happy. So I'm gonna take you through how to make this, which is gonna be my base, and then from there we're gonna create the shape that goes up to the neck. We're gonna tie it at the back of the neck and at the back of the back. This makes no sense. Yeah, so let's get started. To get the shape for the EVA foam, what I did is I actually modeled a shape from my bra and then kind of tweaked it until I got a shape that I was pretty happy with. I have a secondary shape to help pad the bottom area to kind of help give it a shape. But what I also did is once I had the whole EVA foam glued together using contact cement, I simply kind of helped shape my boob using a heat gun and then molding it with like a ball and the back of a foam head just to help like push it out and make it really nice and round so that you really undo all those sharp corners from the foam. And then once you have your shape done, you're gonna use your patterns again and cut them out in batting fabric. So this one is for quilting. It's really thick, but it's also really textured. So I wouldn't suggest this one necessarily. I still think that the one from the original tutorial is better, but like I said, it's short-handed everywhere. I couldn't find it. So we're gonna use the batting. And then to close my darts in my batting, what I did is I did some really like simple hand stitches, just kind of to help keep it in place, but also to make it non-visible once you put it on the boob. So then I used my smaller shapes and kind of stitched them down to the foam. And then I used my bigger shape and stitched that one up around the foam. So that gives you your base boob with nothing on it. So you have to put your fabric on top. As you can see, my fabric, it's not perfect. Like there's a lot of darts, but I kind of sent all the darts here towards the side seam and then pulled everything nice and tight. And at the back, I simply glued it down. So it's very, very simple, very, very easy to do. And the reason why I'm putting a base fabric is just so that I can add afterwards a second layer, and hopefully the second layer will help even further remove the texture of my my batting. Yeah. So yeah, so here we go. We have one boob and now we have two boobs. So yeah, here they are. I think they're looking pretty good so far. As you can see, they're very big. I don't know if they're gonna be too big. I hope not, but we shall see. So yeah, I'm gonna probably pin them to my mannequin and kind of, oh, it's so funny looking, kind of pin them there and start wrapping around just to try and go get the basic shape that I need. My mannequin is a bit smaller than me, so I might need to readjust, but then at the same time the fabric is pretty stretchy, so I might not. But yeah, we're gonna move on to that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to sew this down, probably glue the inside. Well, not probably, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Okay. Hello. So here's what we have so far. So I have sort of my top piece that's kind of gonna come and wrap itself around the boobs and then wrap itself under, and later we're gonna push this towards the inside and kind of wrap it down, and we'll remove some of the excess at the bottom, and this will go essentially up into like a strap that will be tied around my neck. So before anything, I'm gonna loosely like pin everything down, and then I'll see if this like works properly and make sure that, you know, I have that essentially it sits nicely, because you don't want it to look like weird on yourself. So as you can see, I did put in some darts just because I found it was really hard not to have any. So what I tried to strive for here was to send my darts towards the side, the outer side boob, because that part will not be visually seen, because my cleavage goes like this. So yeah, and I tried to leave the under boob as clean as possible too, so if ever I want to use it again for an under boob, it's kind of usable for both. But if I wanted like a solid side boob, that wouldn't work, and in that case I would probably suggest sending the darts towards the inside and kind of finishing it up in a different way. But I'm gonna go ahead, pin everything, and try it on me, see how it kind of vaguely fits before I start gluing everything down. What I'm gonna start doing here is I'm gonna start gluing this down. The most important to me is to try to keep this part at the bottom as smooth as possible, especially closer to the center here. As you can see, I'm gonna have to like cut into here somehow and turn it in. We'll see how that turns out, but we're gonna start by stabilizing the rest of the fabric down. So, oh no, wait. Let's cut off some of the not so sexy excess here. All right, let's cut some more excess. C'est pas très joli. Okay, so as you can see, all of this has been glued down, including here, and honestly, it's looking pretty sharp. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna kind of like bring this down, but I think I'm gonna kind of, I'm debating whether I want to put it all the way down, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of bring it, do I want to bring it all the way down? Like, do I want to sew it like here, like this? I mean, let's test this. Let's test this with some pins. So yeah, I think I'm gonna just essentially sew that down like that, and then as you can see, when this goes up, it just really looks like boobs. I can't get over how boobish this is. And I'm also gonna fold this over, kind of do a zigzag stitch here to stitch this part and this part down on the other side, just so it's like folded in and not completely raw edge. And later I'm gonna add the color and probably like add a thing here, and I'm debating whether or not I want to put a little something to finish that here, because right now it looks really messy on the inside, but like I don't really care if it looks messy, so long as it holds, it's fine. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish, like sew this down and then sew this in, and I think this will be all for today. And I will come back tomorrow to finish the boobs up, and hopefully, like you can see, it's not quite my skin tone. I'm much more pink than I thought, so I'd like to add a little bit of shading in the pink tones in here, but that will be like the last thing I'm gonna do. So for now, we're just gonna finish what I just said, and I will see you tomorrow. Hello everybody! We are now on day 2 of working on our fake boobies. They are looking extra big, if not maybe a little too big. I'm hesitant here if I want them this big or if I want to try to readjust. But if I do, I think I'll just make another pair entirely. So yeah, I finished essentially pressing this down. As you can see earlier, we put this little piece in here, and this was what allows us to sew this piece down, but I also went ahead and like tacked it together kind of like at an angle to help hide a little bit of that sewing, and honestly I think it's looking pretty good. So what we have left to do is add like a choker collar piece so that we can put this around our neck, and a strap to hold it at the back. So I think I'm gonna make the strap fairly large. Like I'm gonna start large and go to nothing. I'm not 100% sure how I'm gonna finish it. Sorry. I'm thinking hook and eyes, but I think we'll see. I'll show you guys as I go, but yeah, I'm gonna have myself a little bit of coffee and then just finish these up. They're actually kind of squishy. They're very fun to play with, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I'm back. Yeah. So I've been a little bit off camera attempting to get some stuff done. So essentially this would be my strap to go around me, but honestly it's not stiff enough. So I have this great elasticized fabric. So I think I'm going to try to insert that inside and do a few zigzag stitch throughout just so that it's nice and stiff, and then I can sew it at one side and hook and eye at the other, like a really strong hook and eye, so I get a nice grip. Also, for the neck piece, I was kind of playing around with the height and stuff, so I think I have it positioned pretty interestingly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stitch this part in place and then shorten it as to however much I need, hook and eye, and then this part will in fact be done, and I'll just need to attach this. So yeah, we're gonna move forward. Actually, first I'm gonna go have myself a meal because I'm hungry, some more coffee, and then we'll be back to finish this up before setting up for our spray booth. But I think by the end of this day, these beautiful boobs will be done. So see you in a bit. All right, so here we are. The neck part is done. Got the boobs. They're looking very boob-like. So now I'm trying to figure out how to finish this part up. I have put the, I put it away already, but there's like a little elastic band, very thick one, just so this can be a little bit more rigid and provide a little bit more like, that's the word I'm looking for. Structure, and like just so that it holds on tightly around my body. The mannequin is a bit smaller than me, so I'm gonna go ahead and go try that on this tight and adjust where need be, and then I'll just sew in this part, probably sew it in by hand, and then add more hook and eyes on this side so it can come into here and hold. And if it works out, I'll be right back and to show you that. And we're gonna start on looking into airbrushing it so that it is a bit closer to my color. Like it is really close. I just think it needs a little bit more pink undertone in the shading, and it should be good. So we're gonna add some shading here in between the cracks underneath the boobs, And yeah, we're gonna do that. So hopefully when this comes back, it'll be done. And here it is, ladies and gents, the tits. So if we move this here, you can see sort of. You can kind of see, well, first of all, you can see that it's much darker here than it was. But more importantly, it's sewn on this side. And it has a set of hook and eyes on this side. So it just kind of goes around my back. Large white band for a little bit of extra comfort, though this is technically not the most comfortable. And closes at the back of the neck, hook and eye, and a snap. So yeah, it's done. Otherwise, I'm gonna set up my spray booth for tomorrow. And I think we're gonna leave it at that tonight. So see you all tomorrow. All right, everyone, just gonna chime in for this last bit. So after working on my color thoroughly and making several tests, I laid out my chest piece to spray paint it. As you've seen, I used my ham and some pins to do so. I'm now slowly working my colors through the areas that would naturally be darker, so that would be the boob crack, the under boob, and just a little bit above the boob. I'm making sure to work my color in layers, slowly building in the depth of color. Afterwards, I decided to use some makeup contour and blush to increase the depth of coloration. This would be easily accessible to most people. And lastly, I decided to hide some flaws by covering it with a freckle marker and creating additional beauty spots just to make the whole thing appear a little bit more natural. And with that, my fake boobs were done, and I think personally that they look really fabulous. Like, they look really good. I had a few friends message me asking me if I got a boob job done, so A+. Bye bye.